did Alida and Leah's Cancer Quest get started? That's the question.
It was one day at a puzzle club.
Yeah, and we didn't really have a reason to do it back then. We just said, hey, I kind of want to shave my head. It was just like random.
So it was Alida and Leah, and they're often after school at one of our houses, and they came home to our house one day and said, we want to shave our heads. We already talked to Ryan Siemens, their principal at the time, and this is what we're doing. And I said, where is all this coming from, and why do you want to shave your heads? And it came out that they would like to do Brave the Shave, and I sort of questioned them a little bit on that, like, why Brave the Shave? And well, it's for cancer and we just want to help. Mr. Siemens at the time had said to them, like, it's the end of the year, we got a lot going on, why don't you guys maybe look at this in the new year? And to be honest with you, I thought that over the summer that would just settle and the conversation probably would never come up again.
Over the summer, we were thinking of ideas of how to raise money, and we were thinking like lemonade stands and like puppy stuff, like puppy sitting, and that didn't work out.
But at the beginning of the school year, as soon as they got comfortable with our new principal, I think they kind of attacked the topic with her immediately, and were very determined to carry forward with it. I think for both girls, they've been impacted by cancer through family members and friends, but for Alida, I would say probably her biggest influencer was her grandmother.
My grandma had cancer, and she was going for a lot of treatments, and I got sad, so I wanted to do something to help.
My mom's friend had cancer, breast cancer, and she was in the hospital on her birthday, and it was really sad. We went to visit her almost 2 times or 3 times a week.
Through speaking with them around the first few months, it was clear that they really wanted to do something to help cancer, but they didn't really understand what that actually would entail or what different things they could do. And so through the experience that I had, also with Awakening Passions and volunteering, I had decided to take them to meet a couple of different organizations and talk to them about different things that they could potentially do. So really the only one that we kind of had heard back from was the Alberta Cancer Foundation, and they were willing to have the girls come in and interview them and gain a little bit of knowledge.
Well, my name is Marie. I work at the Alberta Cancer Foundation, and I'm a development officer at the Community Relations Department. When I take people for tours of the Cancer Centre, they're usually adults, and they're afraid of asking questions. But the girls, they had their list, and it was difficult questions, you know.
And it was actually more entertaining watching the adults in the room, because they stumped them on some questions, and I think that they were surprised because the girls came in and took full control over their boardroom, and they had come in with some swag and some fun things to maybe share with the girls, but the girls actually hit them with some really hard questions that they had prepared on their own beforehand. So things like, how many people have cancer in Canada? What causes cancer? Can you catch cancer?
When we went on our tour, I think they taught us the 3 types of treatments that are radiation, chemo, and surgery.
And there will be a 4th one called immunotherapy.
Yeah, immunotherapy. Yeah. That's what our money's going to.
Yeah, to that part of the research to get that going. Yeah.
Like, because of them, I've revamped the tour of the Tom Baker, because now I have much more detail to, you know, some of the answers to their questions in it.
Well, I don't think we could have done this thing at all without help.
Me and Leah's teachers, and Mrs. Chapman, Ms. Rentz, Mr. Morey.
I found out about it in September, and I texted Alida's mom and I told her that I would be their teacher mentor at school for this project, and that's where it went.
After they came and talked to me about wanting to do the fundraiser, I said, they had kind of a low goal of like, well, maybe we could make $1,000. And I said, well, I will help you out. So I will also shave my head, but I'm going to put a high price on it. So I will shave my head if the school can reach $7,000. So they were both really excited about that, and I said, well, maybe I'll dye my hair, because they were a little like, ooh, $7,000 is a lot of money. So I said, well, for $5,000 then I can dye my hair pink. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. After that, we just put the high price on it and put it out there.
Alida's sister Kayla is in my class, and she told me one day that what her sister was going to be doing, and I was quite inspired by that. I think we've all had people that are touched in some way by cancer, and it really made an impact on me. I felt compelled to be a part of it in any way that I could.
In Cancer Club, we gathered a bunch of grade 4 students to come to Cancer Club.
They helped a lot, helping with the bake sale and the Looney Drive.
Well, if we did it all alone, it would be really hard, first of all.
It helps so much getting the assembly set up, and then making the posters, writing the scripts.
I'm inspired because throughout the whole process, they have not once felt like they couldn't do it. That they always knew. They planned everything. There was a couple of suggestions, but most of it came from them. That they just knew they were going to do it. And that inspires me, and I think that inspires other kids too.
It's critically important to foster in schools because a lot of kids don't have that opportunity to do it any other way. I think even myself, I could admittedly say that I underestimated what they could possibly do. And I think you can quickly say that's a crazy idea for 2 9-year-old girls to take on, and maybe try to sway them not to. And I do believe that we as a community, including our schools, are who are raising our children. And so sometimes kids won't have that opportunity at home to have that influence, whether it's time, whether it's language barriers, whether it's struggle to believe in what they can possibly accomplish. It could be a number of different things, but if you have that opportunity through the school, the kids have an opportunity to have a voice somewhere else.
I just hope that our kids can take away from it what I'm taking away from it, which I think it's amazing that little kids can make this much of a difference.
It's my belief that it's our job to raise kids who are going to go out there and do everything they can for other people and our world. And that's not a teacher job, that's a person job, that's an adult job.
Thought it would be like a little thing that we thought would happen, that would be a little dream. But Ms. Chapman and Ms. Vance and all the teachers helped make it come true.
Well, I'm really hoping that the Awakening Passions program has helped with that, because I have a true belief that things come from somewhere. I know that Alida's and Leah's families have been huge supports, and I know that they have that belief as well. So, it couldn't happen just at school. It had to come from home as well. And so I think it's worked because of the way we've worked together to keep it going.
Well, this is a big thing. We need to slow down and do it properly. And from there, it's hard to imagine how big it got and how real, and it wasn't just any longer 2 girls, thanks to Nancy in this school. It allowed them to see that they could make a difference, that if they can dream it, and they can do it. If they don't get to see that at this age, they may not grow up dreaming still. You don't realize how far something can go until they learn how to start trying. And I think Prairie Waters and Awakening Passions gives them those vehicles to find a way to start trying.
I think as a whole, we underestimate kids. So my hope is that the greater community will stop doing that. That they'll see that kids really can make a very big difference, and that it is the community that really supports our kids and their success. Getting more involved and taking that time to be more present in our children's lives, because they are really truly making a difference and they can accomplish some really amazing things.
I'm happy, well, I'm not happy it's over, but I'm happy we did it. It was a lot of work.
Immensely proud, especially about their perseverance. A year is a long time for anybody, let alone a 9-year-old. I think they'll get a lot out of that. They'll be able to look back and say, I spent a whole year trying to do something. That'll be, that's amazing to me. That's like me spending 5 years doing something. It's incredible for this age.
Well, I definitely learned that we're both really brave to do this, and we know that we can always support each other when we need it, and we know that when we do things like this, then people can learn from us, and not just ourselves, but both of us.
This whole process has been amazing, and I know Leah and our family will remember it forever. I'm so grateful.
Well, the sense of community that comes from it, and the sense that everybody has a common problems in their lives, and that people can come together and help those be resolved, is a very important part.
Just the amount of love and support of these two girls who came up with an idea, and how they've inspired so many young kids, but also adults, to sit back and go, wow, look at what they're able to do.
Looking around and seeing some of the families, and seeing friends and people that don't know the families connecting to that, and the power of what was happening was overwhelming them. Seeing people in tears, there was a really great sense of community here, and I think those girls really brought that together.
I think we did a really good thing, and I'm really proud.
Me and Leah thought, well, yeah, this isn't gonna happen, but it did, so I get surprised.
About to cry.
Yeah.